So today, went through a back workout here at the Universal Gym in New Jersey, and I usually will separate my back workouts where I do pull down movements one portion of the week and row movements at the other, so I can focus on more lat dominant movements and then focus on more upper trap rhomboid, upper back movements. Obviously you can't isolate your lats and row from a pull down, but I separate the workout so it's 3 exercises in 3. Today I kind of combined a little bit of everything together, a little bit of less pull down movements. Start with pull down movement. I usually prefer doing it first because generally when I do row movements first and then move into a pull down, I don't get as much connection in my lat and teres minor major area. So I always prefer doing pull downs first if I'm doing rows and pull downs in the same movement. Today I moved a little bit faster pace than I normally would. A little more body English than I normally do. Got a little more, for those who don't know what body English is that you're using your body's momentum, contortioning your body to move the weight a little bit more, pushing to that failure point a little bit past what your body normally can give on its own with strict form. So I did a few sets of pull downs, and also been trying to eliminate how many sets I do and progressively get to the heaviest weight and reach failure faster and less sets. So keeping the volume down, the intensity up. Repetition ranges for pull downs for me are usually 8 to 15, usually do 2 to 3 sets. So in the movement you can see that I really try to focus on sticking my elbows into my sides. I try to come straight down instead of straight back. A lot of people do pull downs, they pull this way, which is, you know, it's fine, but I'm trying to more straight down, mimic more of a pull up. That's why pull downs, sometimes you will lean back and they're strong in pull downs and they're not as good at pull ups. The next movement I did was the plate loaded bent over T-bar row. That's definitely a different version than I'm used to. It definitely kind of pulled me forward a little bit, so I had to kind of lean back and try to find that good happy medium body positioning where I could really feel the upper back and rhomboid trap area. I always have a difficult time really connecting with my back, so I really had to really focus on pulling. I mean, it may not seem like it visually, and it looks like maybe some of the technique's a little sloppy, but I try to really pull with my shoulder blades first and connect with my mind, pulling with my elbows and less with my arms. So like a lot of the movements, I don't really feel it as much in my brachioradialis and my brachials as much as I used to. The second I do, I usually will stop the movement. Then the connection's kind of off the back as much as I want it to be, because my back is not my strongest point. So it's always a point that I'm trying to bring up and catch up with the rest of my body. Did a drop set at the end of that, kind of let it all go out in the last set there. I think I only did 3 sets, the last set being the drop. Again, rep range, anywhere from 8 to 15, and obviously towards the end of the drop sets, just as many as I could, provided I had that connection. As soon as I lost the connection, I just stopped and dropped the set or finished the exercise. The next one I did was, you know, it's basically mimics like kind of like the hammer strength, plate loaded, where it's individual arms, but this one I did a overhand grip, and the way this pulls is it pulls in this plane instead of pulling straight back, it pulls apart. So I actually had an awesome connection with my upper back, traps, rhomboid area, and I was very excited. It had a good connection, good feel, and because it had such good feel, I went a little heavier than I normally would a movement like that, given the form, the technique I had, but I still felt it. So as long as I was still feeling it in those muscles being recruited and fatiguing in my back and not behind my shoulders or in my brachioradialis or brachials, I kind of ran with it. And right at the end there, I did a drop set to try to exhaust that particular area. Next exercise, I did a shrug. I don't always do a shrug. Sometimes I'll do dumbbell shrugs. I don't really do it to build my traps. Just my levator scapula muscles get weak, becomes a little imbalanced for me. If you notice that when I do the shrug, I don't just go like this. I bring my elbows this way. So I'm going in this plane of motion, not like this. Every time I do this, I always pull a muscle in my neck. So I try to pull back, kind of like how gravity's pulling you forward and you slouch. I try to pull back to keep the muscles in the upper back and the stabilizing muscles stronger. Last exercise I did was seated cable row, and seated cable row is iffy for me. I don't know why, but it always bothers my bicep tendons. No matter what kind of grip I use, it's just like that straight pull. So I never go very heavy on it, and I really focus on the squeeze and the contraction of my lats. So when I pull, I really let my shoulder blades protract forward, and I retract my shoulder blades as hard as I can, pulling my elbows out, not straight back. So that was my back workout today. Again, generally I separate my back workout with rows and pull downs, but today combined a little bit of both, so it was a full deal. If you guys liked the video, have some comments, please leave a comment and subscribe below.